Back in December of 2020, a black box covered with vibrant colors arrived on my front porch. Little did I know, the contents of this box would change my life forever. What was in that box, you may be wondering? Well, I'll show you. The Valve Index is the most commonly used PC VR headset on the market, and for good reason. After my solid year-long experience with this headset, I understand why so many people love it. From the controllers that track the movement of each individual finger to the best audio in a VR headset ever, the Valve Index sure boasts a lot of qualities that many other headsets just can't match. Sure, there are cheaper headsets and more popular headsets, and maybe both of those categories are taken by the same headset. But the Valve Index isn't a year-old headset. It's nearly a 4-year-old headset, and still it manages to somehow not only compare, but outright defeat most other headsets on the market. And why is that exactly? Why is it that a headset from June of 2019 is still the second most popular VR headset on the market in 2022? Because I know it's not the price tag. First off, the Index is just outright extremely comfortable to wear. Although it does get to be quite burdening in longer play sessions, I will say I get the same amount of comfortable playtime out of the Index as I do with my Quest 2, even with my Pro Strap. That just goes to show how comfortable the Index really is, because honestly, I think on average, I stop using my Index due to comfort reasons less often than I do with my Quest. And the sessions where I do put down either headset for comfort reasons, the sessions with the Index are actually longer. Second of all, the visuals and audio on the Valve Index just leads to an all-around amazing experience in VR. The Index does have a very minimal screen door effect, and it gets really bad glare at times, but going from my original Rift CV1, I couldn't be happier with how good this headset looks and sounds in-game. Now, this isn't to say that the CV1 didn't have some dang good audio, because it did. I'm still a firm believer that the closest competition the Index has in the audio field is the Rift CV1 with its on-ear headphones, although the Index does opt for an off-ear approach instead. Lastly, this headset comes with a pair of the best VR controllers on the market, assuming you opted to get them in the package, of course. I mean seriously, these controllers are amazing. Games that take full advantage of how these controllers function, like Boneworks and Saints and Sinners, make those games nearly impossible to play any other way. That doesn't come without my own serious gripes, however, as I'm a person with really sweaty palms, and if I play VR for an extended period of time doing lots of climbing or fighting in-game, suddenly the controllers feel like they're crapping out. In reality, it's just false inputs from my palm grease that's left on the controller, making me have to frequently wipe them off on my pants during play sessions. This is a problem I never had with my CV1 or my Quest 2. It's exclusively an Index problem, and that's just the bad that has to come with the otherwise amazing controllers. I've also heard that these controllers aren't very durable, like at all. My buddy Eli had to have his controllers replaced because they formed a large crack down them and started squeaking really bad during use. But so far, I haven't had any issues with mine. Anyways, you are here to hear me brag about the Index endlessly, so now I'll get on to my personal experience with the Index in the past year, and talk about a few quirks and issues I've had along the way, as well as my opinions on whether or not you should still buy an Index in 2022. When my headset first came in, everything hooked up and worked properly at first. However, the morning after I got everything set up, I had a base station stop working and flash a red LED. After a quick Google search, I found out that that meant my base station was completely fried and had to be replaced by Valve, which after short communication with Steam support, I sent my old base station away, and a few days later my replacement showed up and everything worked fine from there. After a few months of usage, my pass-through stopped working entirely, and I never really figured out why. It began working again eventually, but I'll explain that later. One day my headset completely stopped showing up on my computer. The VR button on Steam was gone, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get my headset to power on. No matter how much research I did, I couldn't figure out what was causing this problem until eventually I figured out it might have been caused by a loose connection between the cable that connects to my PC and the headset itself. After unplugging and replugging it in, the VR button reappeared and my headset worked just as it did before. Also, after I did this, my pass-through began working again, and I assume this cable being slightly loose is what broke it in the first place. There was another time when my controller's thumb pad stopped working, which really freaked me out because I had heard of this type of thing happening before. I really didn't want to have to send my controllers out and be without VR for however long it took to get a replacement set, but luckily after a quick headset reboot, the controllers began working again as intended. I'm not really sure what caused the issue with the thumbstick, but it hasn't happened again. There's also this strange issue that will happen when I first power on the headset when I'm not wearing it, where the screen will just be the dull gray that appears whenever you lose tracking. Whenever I boot it up sometimes, it never leaves that screen. It'll just stay that way until I reboot the headset. I don't believe I've had this happen recently, and I think it might have been linked with the loose cable I talked about before. The wear and tear on this headset has been slim to none in my experience. I've had a couple run-ins where I might have scratched the ceiling with my controller during a play session, or punched myself in the face so hard it knocked the front cover off, but in neither of those situations has the headset or controller shown any sign of damage. I almost killed my dad one time when he accidentally pushed my controller off my PC and onto the floor, because I have heard of drops about that tall that completely destroyed controllers, and this incident happened nearly immediately after my warranty expired. And really, that's about it. Other than that, I don't believe I've had any issues with this headset. I've put in around 630 hours on this headset so far and plan to put many more into it as long as no major issues crop up. Despite this, I'm honestly on the fence about recommending this headset to anyone looking to get into VR at the moment, as every day it feels like there's a new bit of information about a new VR headset or project that's going to be released in the near future. Unfortunately, due to the chip shortage, I'm unsure as to when any new VR headsets will be coming out, so honestly, you may have plenty of time to buy an Index and enjoy it to its fullest before anything better releases. So I'm just going to tell you what I tell every person in real life: just buy a Quest 2. Sure, it's owned by one of the most controversial companies on the market at the moment, but they've made a dang good product, and I can't lie to you and say that there's a better option, because there just isn't. If you want good PC VR, just buy a Quest 2 and put an extra $80 towards a good link cable, and maybe invest a bit into a better head strap, and I promise it will give you an amazing VR experience with any game you play with it. The Quest also gives you the ability to play games wirelessly, whether it be just using the headset itself or streaming a game from your PC using Airlink. So if you're on the fence about what VR headset to buy at the moment, you can't go wrong with the Quest. It's the best VR you can get at that price tag because, to my knowledge, it's the only VR you can get at that price tag. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you found it helpful. I'd like to make a bit more videos under this type of style, so let me know if you enjoyed it and let me know what I should make a video on next. I'm thinking about talking about maybe some of my cars or even other PC equipment or VR stuff that I have. I definitely want to make a video about the Quest, so if you guys want to see it, leave a comment down below, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.